Tweet is up.
Oh, yeah, motherfucker.
We're back. We're back. We're back.
Time. Time.
Oh, Sunil just joined. I just saw. But anyways,
Sunil, what up, kid? What's
welcome,
going on,
kids.
pal?
Welcome
Well, we're gonna do
to.
can we do the original intro? Do you have the video ready to go?
I
Or
mean, I could pull it up, but I feel like we got to figure out a way to get this done with the Zoom situation.
yeah,
It's not ideal. Is what it is. We could sing it. No, we can't sing it.
the Undefined
Podcast.
podcast.
Dun, dun, dun. Anyways, welcome to the Undefined Podcast, everybody. The only engineering podcast with a 2-drink minimum. I'm Jared Palmer.
And I'm Ken Wheeler. And today, we don't have any guests again.
It's just us.
It's just us.
We're just the show.
You know
And
what I'm
this week's show, we're going to be talking about web development trends in the future, in 2021 and beyond.
Yeah, 2021 is going to start up, and you know what time it is.
We are hours away on the East Coast from the end of 2020, which is a remarkable,
My goodness,
remarkable feat.
Our good friends out in the UK, they're nearly there.
Yeah, they're already ahead of us, realistically.
Yeah, they're probably already a little fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Them and me both.
There it is. There it is. Speaking of which, let's do a little New Year's Eve drink check. Can't speak today.
Sure. So yeah, I've got a bottle of Woodford Reserve here.
Woodford Reserve.
Going right from the bottle, like the classic gentleman that I am.
Classy. Well, I have a little mini champagne. It's I guess it's Prosecco.
A Prosecco.
Little how adorable is that little bottle?
So I got Prosecco.
Yeah, delicious.
I also got champagne, but the Prosecco's for mimosas tomorrow.
Nice.
I was actually going to bring Prosecco. Oh shit!
What?
New Zealand. It's already New Year's.
Dude, it was New Year's in the morning in Australia. Yeah, New Zealand.
Wow, anyways. Look at you, Prosecco boy.
Yeah. Time, it's how it works. No big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, we should do an episode on time because it's kind of a shit show in development world. But
yeah, we should.
Anyways, that'd be a good topic. This show though is all about next year and what to expect in the web development world. So we're gonna go through like a couple trends, I guess, in this little short period of time. But there's some big ones, like lots of things are happening. And we're going to focus primarily on web dev, but probably extend that to like full stack. So anyways, I guess we'll get started now that sort of people have joined on all the channels.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Ken, we'll kick it to you first. What is your like big trend for 2021?
I as much as I disagree with the direction in general, I do think that you're going to see a lot shifted to the server.
Server components came out last week. We saw Hotwire, obviously Phoenix is already a thing.
Not just that, I mean, even outside of like those like, high level framework supported things, like, just pushing stuff to the server out of necessity.
Is that just could be, and why is that? Is that a compute thing? Is it just like ease?
I mean, yeah, it's a couple different things. If you were to do, like, imagine you pull something down, and then you have to do like 18 Lodash operations on it to have it suitable for display, right? Why not do those on the server?
Right.
So I think a lot of client-side complexity you're going to see move to the server, and that's going to be at the implementer and framework level. And, we're already seeing a lot of that as a general trend.
Do you think that's accelerated by, like the trends we're seeing in like serverless, because like it's easier and like deployment trends, it's like easier to put stuff on the server? I think that's part of it, right? But I guess that's my first trend is I think that serverless, even though we just talked about things moving to the server, and when we say serverless, like there's still a server. It's just a billing detail, right?
Well, not just that, but it's like it's an administrative detail as well, right?
Correct.
Because like, you know, for us, right, we've been doing this, you know, for a reasonably long time, right? Server leaves like a bad taste in your mouth, right? Because it's like, do you remember like managing and fucking running servers personally?
Yes,
Ugh.
actually.
Yeah, and like you're like, ugh, give me a break. And then like, you know, a lot of the serverless shit is gonna make that you know, less daunting.
I guess so. I think, but if you look at the most, but ironically, if you look at the most popular serverless um, use cases, um, you'd find that they're backed by frameworks that make it feel like they actually are servers, right? Like if you like take
Sure.
Next.js for example, like yeah, it's running serverlessly on Vercel, but like you don't really know that. Like you don't, it doesn't feel like it. Obviously you can run it in a regular Express server and you can put it on Heroku, right? But when you deploy to Vercel, they're deploying to AWS Lambda, and
Mhm.
doesn't feel like a server. And the magic of it is that it doesn't feel like it feels like you're working on a when you're working on an Express server, even though you're not, right? And they jump through a ton of hoops to make that happen. Um, that being said, though, I feel like it's I still see like a lot of consolidation in that space around like tooling and frameworks and meta frameworks to make serverless like again sort of this like seamless, like almost like a build target, if you will.
I think it's early. And then, you know, in 2021 we'll probably see a lot of creativity around that idea.
Yeah, I think also for my next big trend is the proliferation of or the transformation of JS into or PHP into JS, I should say. Yeah, that's my big trend. The transformation of
PHP into
PHP
JS.
into JS. Yeah, the
Go on.
conversion. So if you think about the last few years of React or just React itself, JSX was the was an, inspired by PHP. And then more specifically XHP, which is the flavor of PHP at Facebook,
Mm.
Hacklang that they write, which is like typed PHP, and Hack is sorry, XHP is like the componentization of that allows
Yeah.
them to render what looks like JSX, honest to God, but is a layer on top of like Echo effectively. Um, but it's PHP. If you look at what React is, it's like PHP in the browser, basically, or XHP in the browser. And if you look at what they're doing now with like server components, basically you could recap if you were to characterize what React server components and how they work, and this shift to the server, you could just say that it's effectively converting PHP into JavaScript so it can run in Node or something like it. And then with one big trick, which is that it can also run in the browser and be interactive, right? So you're not just spitting out raw markup. You can actually make it interactive with React, which is client side PHP, so to speak, right? I feel like that trend's going to continue. I think you'll see that adopted not just by the React ecosystem, but by other front end frameworks too. They'll figure out a way to jump on that bandwagon, whether it's Preact, whether it's Vue, whether it's Svelte. If the React ecosystem can prove that there's a legitimate use case for putting stuff on the server, other frameworks will follow.
Server side UI frameworks.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine like a server side blueprint.
But it's not that part, right? It's the rest of the app, I think. But
Yeah.
maybe it is that part. I think there's that distinction there. Okay, the other big trend that I think is gonna be huge in 2021 goes without saying, but TypeScript will cement itself as the de facto language
Oh yeah.
of everything. There'll be very little JavaScript written. There'll be a lot, but there'll be less and less JavaScript written.
Do you ever
I
write like
believe.
regular JavaScript?
No, I haven't written a line of regular JavaScript in years. That wasn't on like a conference talk. And when I do write regular JavaScript at a conference talk, it's embarrassing of how many typos I make.
Like I'll do it in like a code sandbox and it feels gross.
It just feels, yes. I have to take a shower afterwards.
Like
Yeah, it's not great. What about you? When was the last time you wrote regular JavaScript?
Probably for some Node thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
to be honest. If in the client, a fucking very long time.
Very long time.
I mean, 2 years maybe.
Yeah. I think that's like a massive just shift. I remember like even 3 years ago, it was like not that cool.
I remember fighting a client over them wanting to use TypeScript.
Oh, like you took the other side.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was
Tell us
like,
about that.
well, no. Like, so it was like a dual mode deal where it was like React and React Native. And I was like, there is no fucking way I am writing React Native in TypeScript. And they were like,
That's amazing.
and they were like, and then like now, right? But like then, like, you know what the difference is? It would be like 3-4 years ago telling you to write React in TypeScript. And you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to do that because, you know, I'm going to have to type everything by myself. And
yeah, I did
but-
that. But like, yeah, I know what you mean, dude. I actually, when I was funny thing, when I was running my agency, I saw a candidate once applied, and I looked at their like portfolio, and it was all TypeScript, React stuff. And I actually like did something similar. I like didn't really give it this was in like 2016, maybe 2015.
You're like,
I was like, what the fuck is this?
fuck is this guy's deal?
Meanwhile, I'm sure that person is a genius
I know, right? Like,
if they were on that grind that early. Yeah, dude. We talked about this before. I think I TypeScript in 2017 early and never looked back. And now I'm the TypeScript guy. For better or worse.
another 2021 pick.
Yeah.
WebGL.
Ooh. Tell us more.
Yeah. Well, you know, everybody wants their fucking interactive globe lander now.
I was just thinking about the globe. You
So,
don't
you
have
know,
a globe. You're not even fun.
you're fucking small potatoes. You don't have a fucking globe. But yeah, like if you want, like I took Canvas pretty far as what you can do with Canvas, right? And it's okay, but you know, I'm excited to see more WebGL because if you want some rowdy shit, that's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's fucking hard.
It is hard.
It's really hard. But you know, there's libraries that make it easier. But if you want rowdy shit, that's the way to go.
What are those
And,
libraries?
well, 3 comes immediately to mind.
3.js.
Like, have you seen React 3?
Yeah, and React 3 Fiber and all that stuff.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Out of fucking control.
Yeah, it's pretty
like
sweet.
I am dying for a reason to use that legitimately. Like it's outrageously cool.
It's pretty sweet. I've seen yeah. Is that stuff going to benefit from concurrent mode a lot, or who knows what that even means? Or is
I don't know.
be...
I don't know the underlying architecture. I mean, I'm like sort of familiar, but like I don't know. I don't think so.
What are the things you'd build with it that you I mean, I know, but for everybody else, what are things you'd build with React 3 and React 3.5 or whatever that you wouldn't be able to build with anything else?
Well, first thing would be 3D games.
Right.
Right? Like if you want to have like a 3D experience in a browser, right? Like if you want to do that thing that we all wanted to do in like 1999 where you like strut down this like virtual street and it's your file system, right? Like that's the only way to get that done.
That would be a dark place.
I know it is.
Depending on the folder you're in.
I know. Oh God, can you imagine? took a left turn into downloads. Oh my God.
Terrible.
But yeah, that sort of thing. Or like, you know, high performance interactive visualizations, that sort of thing. And then, you know, that like, you know, when I say I wish I had a fucking really sweet, legitimate reason to use it, what I'm saying is that sometimes you'll see a technology like that and you're going to use it purely for masturbatory purposes, right? And then
you'll see it on the agency website, right?
Yeah.
Their landing page, not the actual thing they do.
And then sometimes you'll land on like fucking Zillow or something like that. And they're like, check this house out in 3D.
Right.
And then it fucking loads up this fucking 3D model of this house where the shit is fucking all these pictures are stitched together across it and shit. And you go and walk through and you're like, this is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's sweet. The one I'm thinking of right now is Garmin has a golf data explorer thing. If you like use their like Garmin golf tracking, and they have this club tracker thing that you can add to your clubs, and then it gives you a dashboard of when you go play, like where you hit it, how far you sprayed it, like all this like intense data, and they have like crazy 3D visualizations that are all WebGL based.
So sick.
It's just really good for data viz.
Like really advanced sexual data viz.
Like, have you seen the stuff that Uber's doing with GL?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
they've got like
outrageous.
7 frameworks now. It's like Deck GL, Nebula GL, all this stuff.
It's
and
literally
it's
Tony Stark shit. What they
it
have.
really is. Their visualization is so sick.
It's completely outrageous.
Yeah, it's
But
pretty sweet.
I'm really excited about that stuff because it's a really fun way to actually program.
Probably also not going to be, although maybe some of it can be like you generate some of that. You generate images of it in the server, send it down. First load.
Yeah, you can. I think so, at least.
Yeah.
That's one nice thing about SVG is you can fucking
you
put that together server side. You're good to go.
All right, what else you got, Kenny?
What else am I excited?
I'm
excited
what are we going to be
Wasm,
talking about
man.
next year at this time in 2021? What are we going to be like? Oh,
this fucking new thing that we're really excited about that fucking took React out behind the woodshed.
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think so yet. I think we're still maybe 2 years maybe away from something. You know what the thing is though? The thing is that in order for that to happen, there needs to be some new browser APIs.
You think that's? I mean, you think we're reaching the like peak of what it can do?
I think anytime you do anything cool, a lot of the time that comes from good primitives, right? Like
hardware comes first, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, not just that, but it's like like when proxies came out, right? You saw a surge of cool shit, like like Immer and fucking MobX and shit like that came out of shit like that.
Immer is great. Shout out to
you know what I mean? So it's like the better primitives that we get slid towards us in 2021, you're gonna see shit built around that. And then are any of those transformational enough that you could build a framework around it? Right? Because here's the issue. When you have the existing thing like React, and then this shit comes out, and then you kind of have to adapt your shit to fit that model.
Yeah, it needs to be 10x better, and maybe backwards compatible, or even like fully compatible.
And it's a huge pain in the ass. Versus, slickety Dick Rick who slides in and is like, oh, well, I can just build a framework from scratch around this and not have to worry about fucking.
But the catalyst to that moment is a hardware change. Is your point?
Well, a browser API change, sure.
Or a browser API change. That's widespread. But I guess my question for you is, when was the last one? What was it that enabled React to be React then? If you had to say, like, what was the delta between like Angular?
I don't think there was.
It was just okay. Got it.
I don't think there was.
I
think,
but then why? So I guess to play devil's advocate, why do you think there's a required? Why do you think there's a hardware or a browser change that is required? Just because React is so good, or
yeah, I think it would be hard. It's a good DX, so it would be difficult to unseat.
Well, or you need some sort of other revolution that was as powerful as the component, right?
Well, it's not just the component; it's the entire programming model that gives React its value.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, describing what it should do versus literally hooking everything up. That's night and day. That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's true. You forget often how many things copy, right? And like what the world was like before. But yeah, you write yourself some raw JavaScript and enjoy. The fun thing. All right, so I have a trend. I actually think salaries are going to plateau this year.
Plateau?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I think as everything goes remote, if you're listening to this podcast in earlier episodes, we just say like, we're going to go through the roof, right? But as things go remote, the talent pool is going to open up a little bit. And I think in general, for the average salary in our field, it will plateau. But I believe that at the upper end, it will go higher.
I think it'll go higher, especially in the upper end. And the reason for that is that not every company is where it needs to be technologically yet. So you have a lot of companies that don't have in-house developer teams.
Correct.
And there's a lot of agencies, right, that like they're all fighting over it. But you're going to see that agencies start to shrink as they start to get those in-house dev teams. But as more and more shit moves to the web, right? Like more and more, like, I mean, things that you wouldn't think would require a website or an app, like my fucking light switches in my house. But
Mhm.
now they do.
Well, everything needs, yeah, right now they do. And so now, and then the also, I will say, I guess to, but I, so I agree with you on the high end, and also the level of competition because of the consolidation of the web into Fang plus 10 other websites and their quality of engineering team and how far they're pushing user experience and how that gap between those sites like a Facebook, like a Twitter, the gap between those sites and your local pizzeria is so ridiculous. Um, but even like your mid-sized business, it's getting larger and larger and larger. And so, but that being said, there are now that everybody's remote for the most part, there's just like a little bit of a surplus, or not a surplus. There's definitely a shortage. I would say a new batch of the workforce that is now
Yeah, accessible. Like you don't
accessible.
have to move to San Francisco.
Right, exactly. And so that is different. And that's why I think I didn't say they were going to go down. I just said they were going to plateau. And so that's why I think it's like,
Plateau, sure. And not just that, but like also they're being little bitches about cost of living.
and then also, yeah, the cost of living is big, right? Facebook announced that they're going to like dink your salary if you
If you
don't live in
fucking
SF
work in
by
Scottsdale,
15%.
whatever the
And
fuck.
then at the same time, too, because there's more people that are accessible now, more competition. I just think it's going to pause for a second. Also, like we're not going into like a boom, right? Right, the second, right, the economy is still going to be in recession.
Yeah.
So like that's not great, but I still think like Q2, Q3, maybe if this vaccine works out, who knows? You'll see it come back up and like huge, which will be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a hard forecast to make. I mean, it's going to go up regardless. The speed at
I
which is
yeah, I
this
will say,
this
okay, so general trend too that I agree with that you mentioned is the inner, like the I don't know what you want to call it, bringing things in house, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to have their own engineering team now. The agency game is hard. Let me give you an
Hard.
example. I know that Ueno, which is one used like like Ueno,
Mhm.
that design agency,
Yeah.
they got rid of all their developers.
Really.
Yeah, that's like one of the best agencies in the world,
Who?
like creative agencies in the world. And they got rid of all their developers, except for like two or three or something like that. But for the most part, they're just it's not the
Just
direction
design
they
and
think
brand.
is. It's not a direction they think is like real. So like this idea of like the landing page agency, this is like not that's going to do the development too. I feel like is just not a win for anyone, right? You're going to have like the dev shops in India and in Ireland, and then the middle of the
Eastern
middle of
Europe.
Europe and stuff like that, right? Exactly. And they're going to be really hard to compete with on price in the United States. Really hard to compete with
Really hard to compete with.
because they're using the same tools and they're using them like really, really well. And so, that's a body shop. That's tough. That's a tough game.
Tough game indeed.
Unless you have like some specific niche that you're really like kicking ass at. I think it's going to be very hard to be an agency, not a consultancy, an agency, like a true dev shop that's at least based in the United States. I think that's going to be hard.
Do you think that 2021 is the year when people are going to realize Fang sucks?
I mean, I feel like that's already happening, kind of. Like I feel like the brain drain at some of these big co's is real. Some worse than others, right? Like, certainly But that being said, dude, like, it'll just be another thing. Like, you think that like working at TikTok is any different than working at Facebook? Not really.
I mean, it's the same sort of thing, but you know, I think that
They'll raise prices just like the finance guys raise prices too. Like they'll just pay people more. That's my. I mean, that's my thing.
what I'm saying is they're gonna have to, right?
They're gonna
Because
have to.
like,
Yeah, they have to pay more money.
you know, it's not that they pay bad, right? But like, there's so many people ethically opposed to their shit, and then on top of that, on top of like the ethical opposition, like there's people that like just fucking don't like their shit, right? Because like, you know, it's been positioned as like, oh well, you could take a hit to come work here because fucking you'll be working on interesting problems, and you know, people are like,
Now it's
yeah,
not interesting
actually, that's
anymore.
bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, look, I actually think they already pay a premium, right? Like they already pay a premium to little startups, right?
Yeah.
And finance pays a premium to even that, right? Because it's like a lifestyle
I mean,
situation.
any industry, like anything that's not Fang is going to pay a premium for good developers because all the developers want to go to Fang.
Yeah, or at least that's their backup plan.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, well, I'll just go to Google and fucking ride a bicycle on with a fucking stupid hat with a spinner on it. You know, like these other companies are like, well, yeah, we're not going to give you a nap pod, but we can pay
what's
you.
really interesting is that given that all these companies are trying to bring things in-house, the money they're going to have to throw to get
talented developers. That's
going to be really hard, is really, really huge. So that's why I said at the top, there's going to be like crazy demand.
Yeah.
Mid-tier stay the same, but like for architect level shit, it's going to be, and
It's
also
a
I will say
situation.
this, with this remote, with remote work seemingly continuing, I think the mobility of this is going to be, like, I think mobility will change too, right? Like, as is, promotions are not as common in this industry, right? Usually you just leave. You pay more, you leave. But I think too that the pipeline of transfer from junior to senior will also slow down, which will exacerbate what we just discussed with salary. Less
Do
seniors.
you think conferences will come back
After this? I mean, assuming that there's a vaccine and all this thing is, boom.
Yeah.
I think some will. I think personally that if this actually happens, where this with the pandemic, and we actually have a vaccine and it goes back to, you can walk into a club or a music festival and not care, an indoor music festival or indoor concert. Yeah, dude, the boom you'll see is like insane. But I don't know I don't know when that's going to happen, but assuming it does, it'll be pretty wild. But it'll be different. It won't be. I don't know if it'll be the same.
Like, do you think 2017 conference season will ever be the thing again?
Oh, I don't know. Thing is that a lot of these conferences were barely making it anyways. Some of them more profitable than the other ones. I hope so. What do you think?
Too. I don't know. You know, and that's the willingness of organizers to throw it, the willingness of people to attend, the willingness of companies to pay you to go to it now that they know that the whole virtual thing, like, you know, like I worked from home for like 10 years and it was always like a fucking haha, you know, you work from home, ha 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 ha. Oh, you're a remote worker, ha ha ha. You know, it's like not a real thing. And now it's like everyone's starting to realize like, oh, this is a real thing. You can work from home. You can have virtual conferences. You can do all of these things.
But you also don't even need to have conferences. Just release the video to YouTube.
I know. But what I'm saying is the cat's out of that bag.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if the appetite will be the same. I hope it is.
I think you'll see a point where, I don't know, man, we're also fighting human behavior right now. A lot of that is, and a lot of people are like tweaked. I think people would have, I mean, I'd fucking go. I don't know about you. Whatever. I would pay money. I would pay money to go to speak at a conference right now.
I know. Oh my God. Like, you know, I think a lot of people are like that too.
That's
like,
why I think it'll come back.
Did you see this shit the other day?
I don't think business travel will come back. Like, I don't think I'm going to go pitch. I don't think like I'm going to go pitch clients in person ever. I don't think that's going to ever happen. Come back. But an event where the sole purpose is to meet people and network,
that'll probably
will happen.
Dude, did you see the shit the other day? I saw some tweet. It was like New York Times or something, where fucking people like I guess they like they created an app.
Oh yeah, Vibe.
Yeah, to meet with like other people
who
wanted to like underground party.
Didn't even finish the sentence.
Yeah, that's how badly people want to fucking.
Yeah, dude. There's an entire app that was about like underground partying.
Oh man, I wouldn't go to an underground party.
Yeah.
That just seems like,
I
you
would
know
go
what
to
it
an
is. You know,
underground.
if I would go into an underground party where like I got tricked into it and everybody else got tricked into it, but
No, dude.
like all the other people like
So
who
risk averse.
no, but like what I'm saying is like the correlation of if you're choosing to go to this underground party, right? Like what that reflects on your behavior elsewhere.
Is a bad sign.
You know, so it's like you're getting together with I
Other
guess
degenerates.
what could be considered to be the highest risk group, right?
It's like a collateralized degenerate offering.
Yeah.
It's
So
literally like a tranche of degenerates and another tranche of degenerates, and now you have AAA rated degenerates.
like it's like if they're like, "Ooh, surprise, you're at a party," I'd be like, "Okay, yeah, fuck it, I'm at a party." But like, it's like, "Hey, let's all these, we don't want to play by the rules. Let's collude and meet in mass."
I know.
Yeah, it's just
I will
selection.
say they're yeah, I think it'll come back. I think conferences will come back. I think it'll come back. I'm excited. I really want to go to travel again. I thought that was pretty fun.
Where do you miss the most?
Oh, I don't know, man. I think like towards the end, I don't know, when in January of this year, I guess. Gee, we were in a rhythm, you and I. We were doing, we were hitting some spot up every month. I'd
Yeah.
see you more than I'd see like Sarah Vieira. I'd see like a bunch of like conference people more often than I'd see my friends in New York.
Yeah, and it would always be like, "Oh yeah, okay, we're in Poland or we're in fucking London or
Right, and that was pretty fun. Or we're in Austria.
Paris. Look at us."
And now this is fun, dude. I don't know, it's sweet. I actually really enjoyed it. Also, I really
There'd have
like
to be
traveling.
something wrong with you to not enjoy it.
I love traveling. I love it. And you just like meet new people, learn new things,
You see your squad, and then what was
pick
cool
up new
was like
languages. Love it.
I've gone places traveling for conferences, and I've gone places like with my family,
Mm-hmm.
like the same place, and it's completely different when
Totally
you're there for a
different.
conference.
Totally different experience.
Like you'll there'll be like some local cats, right, who came to the conference, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go to this thing," and I'm like, "Fuck it, this place,
Dude. That's the best part.
Yeah,
The best part is you meet people who like live there, and they're trying to show you what's up, and you go with them, and then you feel like you just like took a cheat code.
yeah, it's incredible. It was really like, so what are we doing? Going to the Eiffel Tower? They're like, "Fuck no.
No.
We're gonna go to this spot."
Right.
And then you get home and everyone is like,
Dude,
"Oh, did you go to fucking Arc de
Paris.
Triomphe?"
Paris, fucking
The
Evan and I
frog?
in Paris. Evan Bacon and I in Paris. Just good times.
Oh man.
Oh, good times.
Oh boy.
Good times. But yeah, no, that's the best part about the whole thing. And it's so cool that it's like this community allows you to do that.
Yeah. What a
Because
gift.
like no one expects that. I also believe that conference-driven development will come back, dude.
Man.
I just think it's different when you're like preparing some bullshit for a talk on.
Have you done virtual talks?
What's that?
Have you done virtual talks?
Yeah, we did one, dude. We did one at Backendless Conf, but that was
I know.
pre-pandemic.
But I mean, just like like recently, have you done?
No, I actually have not. I mean, I have not. I've been heads down.
It is extraordinarily difficult to spend time on a demo or conference-driven development if it doesn't culminate in a mini vacation. Like,
oh, I buy that. I mean, half of it is like, okay, cool. It feels like a reward.
Yeah.
And then you totally take like an extra day.
Yeah. You're like, and I'm going to present this cool thing in this place in front of people.
And it kills a whole week.
Yeah.
Because you leave on Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday if you're smart, Wednesday if you're stupid. You give your talk on Friday, and you're back by the next Monday.
But now virtually, it's like you're like fucking like
2 hours.
You don't even know. You're I'm in this room.
Record it. Yeah, exactly.
I do it in this room. I'm in a robe, and I'm like, I don't know if anybody's even listening to this. There's no feedback. There's nobody laughing. That's the hardest part. There's
no feedback, right? Like you don't even know if you're saying is interesting.
I'm telling jokes. I don't know if they're funny or not. I know they're funny to me, but I who knows? There could be like a living room full of dudes. Like this guy's the biggest asshole ever, laughing at the screen. You would never know, right? If you were at like a real conference, they'd be front row, and I'd be like, fuck you guys, like.
There's just also like that adrenaline rush when you're at a conference and and everybody's watching you and you're like, I don't know,
time to shine
on stage, and it's just I don't know that you don't get that at all because
No,
it's like pre-recorded, right? Or it's
I do it live when I can.
or you have but you have no feedback,
You have no feedback.
so you don't
No
know
one-
if you're killing it
if
or
you
you're just
fuck
like
up, nobody
hating it.
laughs,
No, if anything, it's just like awkwardly silent and terrible.
right? The only people that are probably, and like that's the thing, like people are probably like clicking away, right? Like at a conference, like if somebody's giving a talk and you like stand
Oh
up in the
yeah,
middle and
dude, they're just
leave,
like, fuck this, I'm done.
yeah, I'm there. Yeah, fuck
Close the
this.
tab.
Yeah. Like,
Oh my god, dude! Next time you're doing a conference talk and you fuck up, and I'm at the conference, I'm gonna just
get up and leave.
hold. No, not even that. I'm gonna hold up a big sign that's like close tab.
Dude, do you remember our shenanigans at
That was
the one
great.
London?
That was
Yeah,
great, dude. I launched Formic on stage. You gave me a beer. I couldn't finish the beer because I chugged a
you
Stella.
couldn't chug it. That was
Well,
hilarious.
because I didn't like shotgun it, which was really stupid and poor planning on your part as my like drinking companion.
Yeah, I really should have. But yeah,
You were
and,
like,
and
"Bomber,
Stella's
take
kind
the
of
keys
foamy.
out." Foamy. I do.
You like
enjoy it,
foam
though.
throw up afterwards.
I almost yacked. How?
Yeah, but you know, you don't chug a Stella.
dude. But I actually think I should have yacked only so that it would be like legendary.
That would have been hilarious.
Like in like an Elon Musk like actually break the
Break
Cybertruck
car window
only to
Sailor.
make it like legendary.
Yeah.
Thing, like on
This
purpose.
fucking guy foam puked on stage.
Yeah, like a pledge.
That was one of my favorite tweets of all time. You holding the guacamole bowl. For anybody that didn't see it, Jared was giving this talk and he had his hands like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, looks like he's holding a bowl of guacamole. It's good.
The
good
beach ball
roast.
situation was great. But yeah, I miss it all. I think the other trend that dude, you know what I think would also be a trend, unfortunately, in 2021?
What?
VC money in open source.
Yeah,
there's a lot of money on the sidelines right now.
There is.
And I don't see it needs to be deployed. Capital needs to be allocated. And I think you're going to see a lot of open source projects that you didn't think have any commercial reality get raise capital.
Mm-hmm. But then, like, I don't know. I never wrote open source for money, and there's a saying that if you like something, don't do it for money.
Yeah, but there's also another saying, which is that like
money's cool.
Money's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I worry about if I were writing open source and got VC money, what that would mean for how I was coding. Does that make sense?
No, tell us about that.
So like I had always wanted to be a music producer, right? And then I got an opportunity to get paid to produce music, but it wasn't necessarily the music that I wanted to produce.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't want to do this at all.
Right.
You know, like, and like, not only do I not want to do that, like you go and make music all day long that you don't feel like making. Like at the end of the day, the last thing you feel like doing is making your own music on your own terms.
Sure. But welcome to client services. Like, you think that I enjoyed writing all the code I wrote for my clients?
No.
Of course I did, Ken. Dumbass. Yes, I did. Yeah, right. Exactly. No way, dude. Like, but that's part of client services. Welcome to the business.
Yeah. But when I don't know.
But also, like, I don't think every code is fun to write. Every line of code is fun to write. Like, some code sucks.
Oh no. All my code's fun.
All your code is fun and fanciful and amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I highly doubt that.
It's all fun.
I just think, in all seriousness, that two trends, I should say. I won't say just VC money. I will say that like projects will look to monetize faster. Hobbyists will look to monetize more quickly because they know that there's capital there's demand. There's more demand than ever. There's more capital.
Where's the monetization?
Where's
licensing?
The monetization? No, just alternative models. Yeah, license. Like I just think that like
support
other like things that 3 years ago they wouldn't have done. Right? It just been a hobby weekend thing, right? But now it's like, oh, I can literally raise money from name the fucking VC fund. And if I can prove that there's any acme of idea of monetization strategy around this project, then I can do it. or you sell courses or you sell whatever. I'm just saying like some version of monetization, I think is a big trend in open source. And whether that's grifting or whatever we're going to call that, or like actual like hardcore sales or licensing, I just think it's coming. Dude. Like
Grifting. That's a
Yeah.
popular thing.
Yeah, grifting.
That's the new thing everybody's talking about. It's grifting.
You know how it is. I don't know.
What is grifting? Making money?
No, that's not what grifting is.
What is grifting?
I don't know if I like have a full. I know it when I see it.
That's so funny.
Like pornography. I know it when I see it.
Yeah. No, that's art. That's art.
That's art. That's art, right? Like same concept, I think, grifting.
Yeah. No, that's fair. It's not like a,
I think it
there's,
depends,
there's
dude.
not like really a heuristic there.
Was because like some of the grifting is like just some person's being paid to grift.
That's true.
Like some poor DevRel that's just grifting hard.
Grifting
hard. Right? Like they're just pumping out like they don't it's bullshit. They know it's bullshit. But that they know that some people don't think it's bullshit.
You know what you should make, dude? We should make like keep on grifting stickers.
Keep on grifting. Oh, it's a new thing in the store. We gotta do that.
And then if competitions ever do come back, just slide them on random laptops.
Oh yeah. Who needs stickers? We're on desktops. But anyways, I don't know. I know when I see it, Ken. What do you define grifting as?
I don't know. Yeah, it's sort of that. It's not that, it's like exploitation.
Or are we just butthurt that we're not part of that whole VC grind, that we didn't raise capital?
Yeah. I think that's I think that might be the thing.
That might be it too, just to be a little self, aware. But I also think that
I'll tell you what, dude. If VC gave me $3 million and motherfuckers called me a grifter, man, I'd have a grifter shirt. I'd come out with with shoulder length hair made out of $1,000 bills.
Like yeah. Look, at the end of the day, I think that whoever you make a buck is awesome. It's amazing that people convert anything into money.
Yeah.
But I also think the tragedy of the commons is so bad, dude. This the open source is in such a weird place. Like it's not this hobbyist thing anymore.
Yeah.
And the false equivalence of hobbyists against VC funded companies is really not good. Right.
I can imagine it's unbelievably difficult to break in right now.
That's what I think too, is like the roads and bridges we took to get where we are closed.
Yeah. And not just that, like if you want to do that now, there's so much more that you have to do. Like back then we used to just release shit. Now
if you didn't have a logo, it didn't matter.
Yeah. Now you need to like reserve an emoji and there's like none left. And
reserve an emoji, get a domain.
You start a Discord.
Docs. You better have a Discord. You better have support. You better have all this shit.
You better be in that Discord.
It's just like stupid now, because now it's like a product you don't make any money on.
I know.
And so it's like, why?
Dude, it's more documented than almost any product I fucking use.
Pretty much. It's actually better than most products, right? It has to be.
Yeah, dude, they have their shit to get like random fucking dudes in God knows where. What open source projects have better documentation and branding than half the shit that like I went the other day. I was trying to like figure out how to like tap into my Nest cameras, and then,
that has no documentation.
This is like this is terrible.
That has no documentation whatsoever. I bet it's not.
Yeah, but if some hungry open source kid got in there,
some fucking state management library for React better have some fucking sick ass docs and an egghead course and a fucking YouTube thing. And
3 egghead courses.
Yeah, 3, at least 3.
One's grifty. The other 2 are valuable.
So again, that's where I think it's like a little bit weird. And then the other thing too that I think is a little whack is like people used to have like 5 projects, 6 projects, 10 projects, dude. Like minimum.
Easy.
But you could manage 10 projects before.
Now
in this world.
Now it's a one pony show.
Yeah, that sucks for some of us who like literally have like 10 projects.
I know.
It's tough, especially those who are about to start a new one.
Well, you know what the key to that is, and it's something that I've never done well, and that's the handoff.
Oh yeah, I know. I probably okay. Here's my 2021 prediction. I'm gonna hand off one of my projects.
Ooh. You know who's not going to take it?
Who?
Me.
Yeah, I know. No. I just think like some projects, like I literally have nothing to do with anymore, and I don't care.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, like one of the biggest things for me about that sort of deal is that it's not just that you don't have the time and you're working on new things. It's you're completely out of the sphere where you were when you wrote it.
I think about it. Yeah, I think about it as like, what for me? It's like, what do I think about? I think Paul Graham has a good one, a good essay on this. It's like, what do you think about in the shower? You only do like one thing. It's like whatever you're thinking about in the shower, like that's it. That's all you fucking doing. That's all you got. That's 100% of your energy is focused on whatever you're thinking about when you're taking a shower. That's it. That's all it is. He might have used shower for taking a shit, but like as a swap, but like more or less, I'm pretty sure it's just like whatever you're thinking about in the shower, whatever you're thinking about in your like long walks, whatever you're passively thinking about, that's all you can think about. And that number is like no more than, 2 things, 3 things, right?
Yeah. No, you can't get spread that thin.
So like when you get 5 projects, like you just can't give them the time and energy.
Get 5 projects, then you could be fine. 5 projects now.
Yeah. 5
Start
projects
a fucking
now with
corporation.
docs, examples, and that's my point about this VC thing. Is like the expectation is so high because you have like companies.
You have to hire people.
Yeah, you have to hire people, and you have no capital because you have no income because it's a free service.
You have to get volunteers, and then the volunteers are at odds with you ideologically about the course of the project.
It's even worse than that because yes, all of that, but they don't even care about it as much as you do because they're volunteers, right? So it's like a total nightmare. It's just very hard to like. Let's just take an example. If you were to compete with Next.js right now, you would have to raise fund. You have to raise funding.
Yeah.
Like, or your shit would have to be so. I can't even imagine how good it would have to be.
Or you'd have to not sleep.
But it'd also have to be all you ever did. You could not do anything else. You couldn't. That would be the only thing you did.
Yeah.
To take on a team of 10 people or I don't know, 10, 15, 20, 30 people.
And the thing is, when you enter that space, not only do you have to get to parity with them.
You don't need to 10x better than them. You have to yarn.
You got to be better, and you got to stay better. Speaking of yarn,
yeah, you can't just fuck around.
The original thing will come right back in and implement the shit you did better.
They'll steal it.
Yeah, and they do.
Gotta stay better.
You have to stay better, not
otherwise you get Zuckerberg. They'll take Snapchat stories and they'll make them fucking Instagram.
If they're not playing catch up, you're fucked.
So you have to be like 10x better for like a long time.
Yeah.
By yourself, until they're fucking insurmountable.
Until your competition spirit's broken, really.
Until they give up.
Yeah, until they're like, fuck this, we're just not gonna. In order to, meet what they're doing, it would be unsustainable. And the thing is that the bigger a project gets, the harder it is to do that. So if somebody came out fresh and like wrote like a React killer kind of thing, like React is so established in such a large code base, like if they were to do something fundamentally different, right, it would be harder for React than whoever the fuck is writing the replacement thing.
And yet it happens all the time. What we're just describing.
Yeah.
And yet it categorically through history, it doesn't happen all the time. It happens. That's how React came along.
It happens.
Right? Like React did that to Angular, React Yarn did that to NPM, right? But there's always that chance that Yarn happens to you. And I use Yarn as the example because when Yarn came out, which is Facebook's like NPM replacement, the day it came out, it was 100 times better than NPM. Maybe 1,000.
And now NPM is significantly better.
Oh, I really, I don't care. Like I just use Yarn.
You still use Yarn.
Is NPM back to like speed?
Yeah, no, NPM's good now.
Oh, I'm so too. Maybe I should like prefix my shit. I thought that NPM 7 or 8 was like as fast as Yarn. Also, like whatever Yarn 2 was like not Yarn, so like that's silly. But Yarn 1 just devastated the NPM game.
And it's like if you've invested that much time in this, right? And motherfuckers can come in and just gank it. Like, what protections do you have?
Nothing. You just have your community.
Yeah. You know,
Which you
back
can
in my
only
day,
build
we used
one
to
of,
call this
right?
shit patents, but you can't patent this.
No, it's not defensible. The only thing you can defend is dollar bills and community.
That's right. Open source patent. Imagine how much of a shit show that would be.
No, it's impossible.
Then it's not open source anymore. I mean, I
That's one of
guess
the other things
technically.
too. So that's the other thing too. I was talking to Adam about this. Adam Wathan about this. Like, and we were talking about like Tailwind and Formic, and we were talking about like monetization and stuff like that, and support and stuff. And he was just like, "Look, I got lucky because Tailwind happened to have a commercially viable path to it. Like that was obvious to them with Tailwind UI, and they're making good cash on that shit, right? It's like not every open source project is like that, right? And if the maintainer is like doesn't have the commercial interest there, it's not going to happen. Which sucks.
The tangled webs we weave, Mr. Palmer.
Yes. All right. So on that note, some picks for the week.
You go first.
Well, I'm gonna go with Veuve Clicquot. I'm gonna have to have some champagne. I'm pick is up, and that's my first pick. My second pick is for fucking 2021, the whole year. That's what's up. I'm very excited to start some new thing. And then my third pick is what I guess we're gonna call Turbo Repo, right? Should we just name it on this podcast?
Turbo Repo.
All right, so I'm working on a new tool. It's not out yet. It's not even close to out yet. Code name is Turbo Repo. And Turbo Repo is the culmination of basically everything I've learned and researched about monorepo management in the last year or so. And so far, so good. It'll be about 10 to 25 times as fast as Lerna.
Get him.
And I'm really excited to release it, and it's going to be an open core-ish model, but basically built for on-premises from day one. And if you work on a monorepo right now with like Lerna or Rush or NX, holla at your boy. Would love to talk. Love to show you a demo of that new. So that's my third and secret and pick. Not seem to be very secret.
Oh, my picks are hilariously the Elgato key lights.
Oh yeah, we got Ken a setup here. Now we kind of fucked this up a little bit because we didn't get the right exact setup quite yet. But next week Ken will have exactly my setup, which is pretty sweet.
I'm gonna be all blurred out and handsome and shit. It's gonna be sweet.
Well, you're always handsome, my friend.
Well, you know, people are gonna know now.
People will be able to see your dirty little chin beard.
Look at that shit. It grows like that.
Exactly.
Like Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
Second pick. I usually don't get a Christmas present, but I did this year.
You got a Christmas gift.
I did.
Wow.
I got a Christmas gift, and it is the DJI Mini.
Oh, that drone.
And it fucks.
It's cool.
With the fury of 10,000 galloping antelope. You have no idea.
Antelope.
Like, this fucking thing, dude. It's a little motherfucker, man. It folds up to like the size of
the size of an iPhone, right?
Well, yeah, it's like an iPhone. It's like a thick iPhone.
Like 3 iPhones stacked.
It's like like 3 iPhones stacked, right? It folds up to you, but then it like flips the wings out, and then you set it on the deck, right? And you have your iPhone into this fucking like controller thing, and it's like 4K video live, right? Like it's incredible. Like I just flew the shit over my like entire neighborhood, and you fly it up like 120 meters in the air.
How did you land it? Does it land by itself?
So you like get it down to like where it should land, and then just hit land, and it fucking auto lands. It's fucking sick. Yeah.
Dude, that's
it
cool.
Fucking auto lands. And like you can have it like land other ways, right? Like it'll just land from high up, but I like to like get it right into the zone, right? Like right where I'm about to land, like 6 feet off the ground, and then just hit land, and then it just brings that bitch in smooth. Dude, it's so fucking sick. Like I can't wait.
When I was on Yacht Week, lol. One of the kids on my boat had the bigger one. What's it called? The Mavic.
Yeah.
Okay, that one has like AI in it that like prevents it from crashing. It's crash aware or collision aware AI, and so you could throw it at anything and it won't hit it. or you can
Yeah, it'll
drive
be
it
like,
into anything.
"Meow."
Yeah, it just will not hit things. And then he put it up above the boat, and it was cool. It was pretty sweet. The
Dude,
whole
it's
DJI thing is amazing.
It's really good. I can't
Yeah,
wait to like.
great stuff.
I have summer parties. I don't know. You haven't been to one. You should come to one. But
The other thing they make, dude, that's good is that have you seen the Osmo? It's like the gimbal for the iPhone, like the stabilizer. So you have
No,
this thing that uses the it's like a camera
Steadicam?
stabilizer, Steadicam, but you could put your iPhone on top of it, like into it, and it folds in your pocket too.
Wow.
And then you get sick image state like camera stabilization. It's really good if you're going to a conference or you're doing stuff on the fly or you're doing anything really
running
there.
or walkie.
Yeah, you're just walking around filming something. It's pretty sweet.
That is pretty sweet.
All right, so those are some picks.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
well,
we're wrapping it up, dude. We're wrapping up 2020. This is the last
wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up tight. Throw it in the fucking garbage can.
Yeah, we're pretty much done with this nonsense, right, my man? Well, anyways, folks, thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. It's been another episode of the Undefined podcast, the only engineering podcast with a 2-drink minimum. I'm Jared Palmer.
And I'm Ken Wheeler. Fuck you guys. But also, have a really nice night. Have a great New Year's Eve.
Wonderful, safe New Year's Eve. And follow us on the Twitters at Undefined, the Undefined IO, or check us out online at undefined.fm.
Have a lovely evening.
We'll
Wear
see
condoms.
you next year.
Don't drink and drive.
Yeah, next year. We'll see you.
Next year.